One of the most trafficked sites on the internet and one of the oldest places online that people come together, Reddit rocks for marketing. In this video, we're going to talk about how to use Reddit to market your game, get some exposure, and launch your game the right way. So number one, we're going to talk about Reddit etiquette. Now, Reddit is a weird place. Different subreddits have different rules and different moderators with different motives. My experience has really been torn because on one hand, it's a fantastic way to reach people interested in your project and can get a ton of eyeballs. But it can also be a place that gets locked down tight, posts can disappear with no explanation, and people can be shitty. You also never know how the moderators feel about self-promotion, even when it's helpful to others. Always read the sidebar, always read sticky posts, and always be aware of the rules. And if you aren't sure about a rule, message a moderator and ask first. You can usually find their information on the sidebar. You also always want to make sure that you post more helpful content than you do self-promotion. I know it's kind of a general rule around social media to do that, but Reddit especially because the community is so tight-knit. From my experience, one of the best things that you can post is actually a direct link to an animated GIF. A lot of Reddit's user base is on mobile, and animated GIFs work much better than videos for them. You should also always look for unique angles to post content. For example, if you're a dad and you made a game with your kid, that's a great headline for something that you post. When you post, make sure you do it at a time where a bunch of people are going to see your post in the news section, because what happens in those first 10 minutes of your post is really important. Reddit's algorithm actually rewards posts that get rapid upvotes versus upvotes over time. So when you first post, you want to make sure that you get a spur of activity up front. The way you do that is you have a really compelling headline. You want to make sure that whatever people are searching for, whatever subreddit you're in, you write something that really compels them to click. There are a lot of general ways to do that. You can just search headline writing tips on Google for some general advice. But if you want to search through your subreddit of people that are interested in your genre, you will find some trends and some commonalities between some of the top posts on that subreddit. Look at those, observe those, see what people post, see what people upvote, and go from there. So number two, we're going to talk about the best times to post on Reddit. Now the best time to actually post varies wildly by the subreddit, but you can check the best time using a tool called Reddit Later, which I link to in the description. Generally, Reddit gets the most traffic during the beginning of the week and the end of the week, and 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the morning and 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. at night. Check the tool to make sure, but generally those are the best times to post. Now, if you're posting in a subreddit for programmers, for example, you're probably going to get a lot of night owls. If you're posting in something like fitness, you're probably going to get a lot of people that wake up really early in the morning. So subreddits really do matter, but those are just general times to give you a baseline. Number three, what are the best subreddits to actually post your game in? Well, R Indie Gaming works great for showing off your game as it progresses, although it's kind of small at the moment. R Indie Games is a bit bigger, but it has a very small niche feel. If you're looking for the bigger subreddits for video games, you can try R Gaming, R Games, or R Gaming for Gamers. But keep in mind, you've got to really show something awesome to stand out there as you're competing with AAA titles. If you're looking for sale or promotion, like a pre-order bonus or something, you can also try R Game Deals. There are a lot of tools out there that help you find subreddits for specific genres, and I highly recommend that you find a relevant subreddit for your specific genre of gaming, because some of these general subreddits won't be as targeted as something like an RPG subreddit for your RPG. Now number four, what are some case-specific subreddits? Well, if you're looking to show off in-progress shots or share some devlogs that are helpful to other developers, our game dev is my favorite, and it's huge. But remember, game developers are not your target market, so posting in our game dev is not going to be the best move if you're trying to market your game. So number five, let's talk about advertising on Reddit. Reddit advertising is probably one of the most underlooked platforms ever in the existence of marketing. Now, the reason why Reddit advertising is so powerful is because Reddit gets a lot of traffic. It's one of the most trafficked sites on the internet. But when you post, even if you get a ton of upvotes and you make it to the front page, your shelf life on your post is maybe a day or two if you're lucky. But advertising keeps you in front of those eyeballs all of the time. And you can still target the same subreddits that have your players waiting to buy your game. Now, one thing to note here is that Reddit users seem to be hypersensitive to ads that look spammy or low quality or have a clickbait title. But other than that, it's actually pretty effective. Now, Reddit advertising is going to have to be its own video in the future because it's just way too complex to list here. But essentially, it's pretty easy to set up, and I put a link in the description where you can start running ads. Now, this video just scratches the surface on what it actually takes to market on Reddit. There's so much more that we could have covered, but I left out in the spirit of keeping this Reddit 101. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, you can tweet me at Tim Ruswick, and I'd be happy to answer them.